It's Luke Howard Live! Cheering, thank you. Woo, woo. Thank you very, very much. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Britain's brightest, best radio show. Yes, I'm back after my happy, nice, long break of a weekend. We've got a fantastic show lined up. Hello, hope everyone is well. And, so here's what we've got coming up on to brighten up your day and kickstart your week. Yes, we're going to kickstart it in style with me, the one and the only Luke Howard. It's a brand new week, as always. A new week and a new day. There you go. And lots of great things on the show to look forward to as well. Now, before we start, I must say how you can get in touch with the show today. Now, you can text, you can't text, you can email, GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com. You could also email 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also email my colleague, which is Michael Walker, and that's 34477@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find the show on Instagram. It is the Luke Howard fan page, and we've got all details about the show on how you can get in touch and everything is on there. Just drop us a message or an email and then we'll be happy to help. Or you can just leave a message below where this show is also being broadcast. So it's great to have your company, so sit back, relax, make yourselves lunch, enjoy Britain's brightest, best radio show. And now I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up on the show today. So, we're going to be talking about lots of pieces of news, including, I want to talk about Gordon Ramsay, actually, because apparently what's he done now? Because he's been trying to find a room to breathe on. He's going to be presenting a new game show, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And I'll also talk about Amanda Holden, because apparently she's been breaking some rules as well. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And then we've got Michael here as well on the show. Yes, I know he should be here on a Monday, but I thought he's here. And we've had to do it on a WhatsApp call today because, unfortunately, Teams has broken. So, I don't know why that's happened. So, we're going to do. He's waving at you now. You can't see him, but he is waving. But we don't know why. We really don't know why. So, we're going to be discussing about that in a little bit. And we're also going to he's here, he's here. And we're also going to be talking about Corona as well, because Boris has had a little mention, so we'll have a little talk about that later on in the show. And also, we're going to talk about flower arranging on the show as well. What do you know about flower arranging? Michael's looking at me now thinking, oh my god. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And things to keep your house tidy as well. A little bit of tips, I think. It's a good idea to talk about on the show. So, sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy, because lots of stuff to look forward to. Right, okay, let's kickstart with what's in the news then today. Okay, so, but Michael's going to keep quiet while I get to the bottom of the news. Okay, so let's talk about Gordon Ramsay then. Okay, let's keep with what he's been saying. I love Gordon Ramsay. He's brilliant, fantastic chef. Does swear a bit, but he's very, very good. But with lots of restaurants, of course, they've all been closed across the UK and of course this country as well. Gordon Ramsay has had a good reason to be in one of his famously foul moods. Apparently, while lockdown continues to have actually a diversing impact apparently on the hospitality sector. Now that he's a chef and TV personality, and he has last managed to find one silver lining, apparently. But he hasn't actually missed the food critics, but never doubt, apparently, those haters, apparently, and will also be coming back. And he also laughs after using a rather stronger, apparently, word than that, apparently. Well, I could sort of agree with that, really, to be honest with you. I could sort of agree with you. But he also, most restaurant owners like him had a rough year. And his group, of course, the Ramsay restaurants, operates 35 estuaries around the world. And most of those are all going to be remaining shut, including 18 in the whole of this country as well. Now, efforts have also been made to help, to do with restaurants and also since the pandemic hit with the schemes like, of course, we had Eat Out to help out during the summer, apparently. And of course, it was all temporary ban on landlords, evicting businesses, and it was also who all felt behind of the rent as well. But many also were still desperately struggling. And the government had also been super supportive and incredibly concerned. I think it was in something to do with terms of them all, and of course taking a breather, which was also good, and of course the acknowledges as well. Now to think of the pressure, he also had to cancel 22,472 reservations apparently. Well, of course they did, and it was also through it was something to do with the month of that month, which was December, which was a couple of months ago, and it was also the one of the glory month that gets us through the first week of the part of the year, of course January, February, when everybody goes dry and becomes vegan but they've all got to be going to lights, all been going tough, but they've all got to do what they can to come back and open the restaurants, and fingers are crossed for March this year apparently, which is only a month away, would you believe, and they've all gone back to being, well, creative, so very restaurant in the group. They were all going to be opening with new additions to the menu apparently, but Ramsay explains that he had his team, which has been having, I think it was tasting sessions via Zoom, in keeping in contact with support. He also spent a lot of time on a daily basis with the youngsters of a group, which is also super important and encouraging. Long walks, fresh air, just feeling free and getting out and about. He also said, well, he's quite happy to have gone without any bad reviews of the few months. It's also clear that the 54-year-old is itching to get back to work. He is itching to get back to work, because I know what he's like. He really wants to get back, and I know how he feels. It's also to get back to, much like the rest of the industry, and it's also they've also missed a lot, breaking bread. He also says that the atmosphere, that restaurants do create the atmosphere when you can open those doors and you can walk into a restaurant, and when you do sit with someone you haven't seen for a couple of weeks, so you think to yourself, oh my god, I haven't seen you for ages, you're sitting there with your nice cocktail, your meal, you feel happy, and it's really, really good. But Ramsay's looking forward to doing something different because he wants to present a new game show, so I'm going to get to that in a minute, I'm going to get to the new game show in a minute, because he's very good with food. I think he had nothing else to do really, so he thought to himself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to present a brand new game show, so we'll get to that in a minute. But his restaurants may have been closed, but he certainly hasn't been lazing around during lockdown. He used the extra time, as I just said, to shoot a new game show. He's also been developing it since 2019 apparently. His bank balance will air nightly on BBC One over 10 days starting next week. The series has been made by his production company Studio Ramsay, and the chef serves an executive producer. It's called, actually, do we know what it's called? Do we know what the new programme's called? We'll find out in a minute. But the show's contestants trying to win money by balancing gold, silver and red bars on weighing weights across a pyramid without it tipping over, which is extremely harder than it actually looks. See, it does look very, very hard, and it does board, and it is so unacceptable, and it is more unacceptable than him apparently. All the standard game show elements are there, including tight time restrictions, general knowledge questions, plenty of jeopardy. The large cash prizes jackpot is £100,000, which is a lot of money, really, to win there. But the BBC already airs lots of game shows, of course, hosted by, of course, Danny Dyer, Michael McIntyre. Michael McIntyre presents The Will, and Danny Dyer presents The Wall. Fantastic programmes, absolutely amazing. I love Danny Dyer, he's brilliant. And, of course, Michael McIntyre, he's good as well. Now, Ramsay, he's been acknowledged the viewers might not be surprised to see him hosting such a programme. Do I like the game show he hosts, he asked. But it's also worth saying he hasn't tried to confirm the strategy. He's also still responsibly sweary. Of course, as I said, he shouts temper, he shouts at people. I mean, is that really the right thing to do? Are we sure it's the right thing to do? Well, surely it is, really. But he's also been stopped and short of the placing a contestant's head between two slices of bread and calling them an idiot sandwich, apparently, which isn't a very nice thing to say. It's not a very nice thing for him to say, to be honest with you, but he isn't shy about telling contestants to get their act together in the same way. He also would be struggling. He's also a struggling restaurant owner. He didn't actually go up all cocky sure about becoming a full-money game show host. He also wanted to be him, and he also thought that at the back of the level of support from the BBC and not putting him in a strategy jacket. He said, I needed a room to breathe, he said. And it's going to be airing, and he's also been given a show at 9 p.m. For 10 days, in a 10-day slot. Now, Kate Phillips, the acting controller of the BBC One, she was very much at home in a game show studio, and she also had to say that he embraced the whole process with gusto. And she would also be hoping a bank balance can equal the popularity of the Ramsay's previous shows. So far in his career, he's been a reliable ratings winner on both sides of the Atlantic, of course, presenting Kitchen Nightmares USA, of course, which I've seen many, many times. And yeah, Kitchen Nightmares, it launched in 2004, which was about, what, how long was 2004, if you think about it? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 20, just over 15, 20 years ago, if you ask me, really. I mean, 15, 16 years ago, I'd say, really, to be honest with you. And he also has been helping falling restaurants to turn their fortunes around as well. It didn't take long for him to break America, where he has so far hosted a 19 series of Hell's Kitchen. More recently, he launched a new restaurant rescue show, 24 Hours at Hell and Back. He's then remained on British screens. He was also fronting a road trip series with his best mates Gino D'Acampo and Fred Surix. He can also be seen when he spreads so much of his life in front of the camera, and his expressive personality was also where he was also been complaining to watch, and in programmes where he's still going to be getting viewing figures. And he also said that he may have softened his swearing on his game show, of course, but he also explains that any frustration, he does swear all the time, his expression he also feels comes from generously waiting for contestants to do well. There are also real people who are experiencing some awkward difficulty of dramatic finds, and 100,000 is quite life-changing money, really, and there's also nothing wrong with telling them that you want to do it well, and he's also been really annoyed there as well. He also adds that it's a tough show to launch, and that there are so many moving parts, so that you've got to this audio face it, caring him but fair, and also driven to parts to get contestants some money, and if they're caring as well. Now, Gordon Ramsay's Bank Balance is going to be airing on BBC One at 9 o'clock on Wednesday the 24th of February. When is the 24th of February? It's not this Wednesday, it's next Wednesday, so do watch that. It's going to be very, very good. Okay, so let's move on then now, because I want to talk about Amanda Holden on the show now, because yes, she's done it wrong. She's broken lockdown rules, apparently, as far as I'm aware there. But she's Britain's Got Talent judge, and she's been saying, apparently, that she's been diverse of breaking the rules by travelling from London to Cornwall, which I think is to Cornwall from London. I don't think that's a very good idea to do that. Really, Amanda Holden, what have you been doing? But she's made the trip to more than 200 miles after receiving a distancing phone call from her father, which is true. Her agent also said in a statement that travel was banned except for essential journeys under COVID regulations. The Sun, which first reported the story, said that neighbours in Cornwall complained to the police. Really? Oh my God! But Holden's agent said that that on balance, the TV star and radio host, of course, Heart Radio Breakfast, she felt the round trip from London to Cornwall, as I just said, was necessary. I know she lives in London, but it was apparently it was necessary to deal with an issue at her parents' home. Now, Amanda is aware that all families are going through difficult during these turbulent times, but received a disturbing telephone call from her elderly father on Friday afternoon. Now, it also said that she did not act on the whim of whom it was followed COVID regulations every step of the way in England's 3 lockdowns. It was also aware of the travel rules, and it also diverted and had to break them on this occasion. She also said that she is now back in London. Now, under the rules of the current lockdown, travel outside of your local area, of course, is banned, unless if it is essential and people may only meet others in other households, support bubbles or childcare bubbles as well. However, there are expressions of providing care or disabled or vulnerable people, or to provide emergency assistance as well. Now, her parents, they had both vaccines, and of course they were being treated weekly, so she felt that she was not putting her parents at risk. Well, she did the right thing, so why are they putting this on the news anyway? Why are they putting it on the news anyway? But the presenter had been working on a Heart Radio Breakfast show, of course, earlier on Friday, where she was presented with gifts to make her 50th birthday, which is, of course, tomorrow. So a very happy 50th birthday tomorrow to the wonderful Amanda Holden. Okay, so let's move on now to one more story to talk about on the show. And of course we are talking about, I know we should have kicked off actually we're talking about this, but it says on the script that we're talking about Boris last. We did do that right, didn't we, talking about him last. But anyway, okay, well, let's talk about his plans to exit lockdown cautious but irresistible, apparently Boris said. And we got Boris's speech. Can we play Boris's little conversation, what he said earlier on today? Here he is now talking. Let's play it.
Clearly, schools on March the 8th has for a long time been a priority of the government and of families up and down the country. We'll do everything we can to make that happen. But we've got to keep looking at the data. We've got to keep looking at the rates of infection. Don't forget, they're still very high, still 23,000 or so in COVID patients in the NHS, more than at the April peak last year. Still, sadly, too many people dying of this disease. Rates of infection, although they're coming down, are still comparatively high. So we've got to be very prudent. And what we want to see is progress that is cautious but irreversible. I think that's what the public and people up and down the country will want to see. Progress that is cautious but irreversible.
As you go into this week where you study the data and work out what you're going to do next, can you just say a bit about your approach? You want to drive down infection rates, you want to protect the NHS, but once they're low and the vulnerable have been vaccinated, what do you do then? Is it okay for the virus to circulate amongst the 20s, 30s